Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 15 of Turnbuckle Talk. I can't believe I'm saying that, episode 15. It's gone so quickly, it's flying by. Welcome back. My name, of course, is Samtastic29, and with me, as always, my co-host, my friend, my confidant, Mr. J Dub. JJ Dub, should I say? How are you, buddy? It's been a while.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm doing well. It's definitely been a while since I felt like we've been in this chair.
Yeah, exactly. It's been
busy
a bit
summer
of a whirlwind.
though. It's the summer. It's busy.
Yeah, exactly. It is a busy time of year, and obviously we've just had, we had SummerSlam, and then we've got the events after SummerSlam, which we'll touch base on, and then obviously just over a week and a half, we have Bash at Berlin, which is shaping up to be quite a good card. With the series that they're running, especially from the Raw side of things. I'm liking at the way they're going with there at the moment with Randy and Gunther and the Terror Twins and Judgment Day, following obviously the events that unfolded at SummerSlam. I don't know.
Obviously
where do we start? Do we touch on?
European card
SummerSlam
though
very quickly, or?
Well, I would go. I mean, SmackDown. There's nothing ever to talk about really, but
I think, like I said to you before we started recording, the two big highlights for me on SmackDown are obviously the DIY match with Street Profits. I think was phenomenal. It was a great tag team match, and I like the fact that you got two solid teams that are putting in the effort to become the number one contenders and to go up against obviously the Bloodline. And I love the fact that they just all four men just put on one hell of a match, and it made you want to watch the tag team division again. It just put a spark in that division that needs to be there, and if they can continue to do that, then the tag team division is just going to keep going up and up.
Yes, that is something they've needed to push for a while, and hopefully this is the start of doing that.
Let's hope so.
These should hopefully be building blocks, because it's been drab, the tag division. It's just been so predictable, so lazy. There's just been nothing there.
That's the thing. And I was looking back at old videos. I was watching Raw from going back to '93. So like the very beginning of the Raw library that they have available on WWE Network, and the tag division there was, it was okay, but then as you started to get to like the Attitude Era, when you had like the likes of Matt Hardy, the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, they just lit it on fire every week. It didn't matter if it was a pay-per-view or if it was on Raw or SmackDown, it was just on fire all the time.
That's the thing though, when they were hitting their prime and they were like obviously carrying, you didn't need any other tag team.
No.
You just need them three alone. It doesn't matter week in, week out, if you get in the same match, you know that it's going to be better than the week before. That's
exactly.
the difference.
That's the thing. They went out like it was a pay-per-view every time, and it made no difference to them whether they were in front of 10,000 people or if they were in the front of 100,000 people. It really didn't make a difference. They did it for the love and the passion. You could see it on their faces how much they enjoyed doing it, and I want to see that again. And you can see that teams are enjoying it. You can see that the wrestlers are enjoying it, but I think, I don't know, maybe because we were lucky to grow up in that era where TLC happened once a week, and chairs came out every show, and there was a bit of carnage here and there, and we haven't seen that for such a long time. Maybe the Netflix era is that era next. Maybe the new year brings that to unfold that again.
We start getting those types of matches back, because it would be great. Because you've missed a great TLC match, and I can't even remember the last time that there was an actual great TLC match.
I was
a great
say,
one,
hasn't been a great TLC match for a while, no.
One that was actually worthy of being called a TLC match. Like,
I mean, you look back at TLC matches and you look at spots, and the first spot that comes to my mind, and I'm sure it does for a lot of people, is Edge spearing Jeff Hardy while he was hanging from the title belt. A huge spot, one that pioneered TLC.
Even during that match, though, the amount of different spots just in that one match of like they're putting each other through double tables on. They were like frog splashing onto chairs and breaking ladders.
Well, this is it, absolutely. And look at, I think
it was just the
same
tag team,
match, but it was another. And then you had Jeff Hardy do the swanton off the ladder. Bubba Ray moved out the way, and he ended up going through the table on the outside himself.
What didn't Jeff Hardy swanton bomb off though?
This is true. This is true. Damn, the man's a psychopath. Even now, he's a nutter. Absolute crazy man.
But yeah, I'd like going back to SmackDown. I think as much as it looks like a boring set, like for the Bloodline to have the titles, it's probably better for the tag division that they have the titles because they're making them into a feared team.
Yeah,
and
but
plus
they've got to do the
belts.
defenses. Yeah, they've got to
The
have those
belts, though,
defenses to make them more legit.
they're not tied to just Tamatonga and Toa Longa.
Yeah,
they're
Tonga
just
Loa.
to the Bloodline. So it's that. What's that? I can't remember what the rule's called. Where
I can't remember either, but it's anyone can defend, right? So if Jacob obviously is out of action at the moment, with that boot on his foot, didn't stop him coming out and attacking Roman last Friday, though, did it? But yeah, so he's out of action. So yeah, it can be defended by either Tongaloa and Tamatonga or Jacob Fatu and Solo. Yeah, it's not tied down to two of them. It's tied down to the whole squads, as it were. For want of a better term, the faction.
Which again, to elevate it is better because it's sort of like they've then got to fight the best of the Bloodline rather than just the same two from the
That's
Bloodline.
It, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, if you could come close to beating Tongaloa and Tamatonga, but then next week they could say, okay, well you got number one contendership because you beat them, but this week you're defending it. You're going up against the new tribal chief and the beast that is Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
But they so touching on the Bloodline and this, the first arrival of Roman on SmackDown last week, that pop was just and there was a comparison I can't remember who it was, if it was like,
you talking about it,
I think it was Mark Henry or Bubba Ray had said that the pop and the reaction that Roman got reminded them of when the Attitude Era, when there was pops from the Attitude Era, it gave the same vibe as what Roman got. And him coming down and just dismantling the Bloodline that week. And what I also like is they don't need to do it, and they haven't. Roman don't need to promo now. Let him just come out.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Let him come out and just because the crowd is going to do it for him. So let him just do what he's got to do in that squared circle, other than hold a mic and give back and forth on a mic. We don't need it. This Bloodline, like what they've built them up to be, they're savages. They just got to fight week in, week out, rather than waffle back and forth. Like Solo, is going to have the mic, and then he's going to say this whole. He doesn't need to say a lot, and he hasn't. And all he's done is basically, Roman, if you want me, come get me. That's it. Yeah. And that is what has just set the tone for Bloodline going forward. And I'm buzzing for it. And I like that Heyman's also come out recently and said he's not coming back anytime soon because he doesn't want to jump on the back of Roman's current train. He said he will the great only... thing is,
and working it that way works into how he was taken out by the Bloodline. That he's injured, that Roman's come back because he's done enough of seeing Solo, and it makes perfect sense. Paul's older, he's not a wrestler. It makes sense to keep him out of the picture for a little while longer. And Roman naturally take that,
until he's needed, and then when he's needed is when Roman's got the match against his next match, basically. And I think
and what's interesting is I keep seeing a lot of fan-made posters of obviously the original Bloodline with the Usos and Sammy and Roman going up against the four members of the new Bloodline.
We're all buzzing for Jimmy to come back as well. Like this anticipation.
Yeah, exactly. There was rumor, there was speculated that he was going to come back at SummerSlam, but obviously we got Roman instead, which I think most people preferred. But Jimmy would get a big pop as well. Maybe not as big, but Jimmy would still get a good pop because he's returning to take on someone they hate after being decimated the night after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania, and he's coming back to get his own back again. Yeah, I mean, and then look at Jay. Obviously, you got Solo at the moment wearing the Ulafala, and Roman tried to take it, but now Jay is wearing
though.
Oh yeah, everybody felt it when he stood there and he held it.
That was just, but that was just so real. Like it was just so.
It was a powerful moment for sure. Absolutely.
It was the way he put it on and the relief when you just saw him lift his face, just like. And I saw the best meme that was compared of it though, or not meme, but it was like a comparison, like how Roman felt putting the Ula on to then. And then underneath it was when Thanos snaps the gauntlet or put the gauntlet on.
I saw that. Yes, I have seen that.
So when Thanos got his full power, and it was exactly the same motion of the head back and the power just being let out.
But now Jey Uso is wearing a blue Ulafala.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be interesting to see. He's obviously teasing something. Because obviously there's now this way up of who's the tribal chief because nobody believes that Solo is.
There's like a strong rumour that's circling around now that Roman's next match, or first match back, is going to be at Survivor Series, and he's going to be heading a team against Solo. So this could be the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline.
But do they do 3v3? So it's.
I think it'll be 5v5. I think it'll be 5v5 because obviously Survivor Series is always known for the elimination tag match, the 5-on-5. There's strong speculation that Hiko Lee is going to be debuting soon because.
And he'll obviously be with Solo, I would imagine.
Yeah, only because they're worried of how Tonga Loa is going at the moment. Which
terrible.
He wasn't there Friday because they sort of basically pulled him away and claimed it was injuries from last week. So
poor.
The things, the bits that circled round on like Twitter and everything though, like from that was just basically, Tolonga's botched his ride to SmackDown and stuff like that. And
probably bought the fucking wrong train ticket or something.
I feel sorry for the bloke. But
I feel
at the same time,
because you see these highlights on the internet of him, they go to Okada and stuff, going, like these stupid chops. And I get it, but
he's not helping himself
saying,
though.
He's not helping himself. No,
and
I get people saying, like, you see all these botch videos like AEW where the best wrestler and then there's a botch move, and they go, yeah, but there's botches in WWE, and it's like, yeah, there is, but also the level of wrestling is just a hell of a lot higher overall than AEW. I mean, TNA has been relatively dead for years and has started picking up traction again, mainly, I think, because obviously the tie with NXT, Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, but even TNA is 10 times better than AEW.
Yeah, but then, like you say, don't help yourself when you're botching a low blow twice.
And not only that, but when the referee had to pull himself out of the ring because you botched your first ever appearance on WWE.
It's just
in a mainstream way. It's a bit.
So that's why there's rumours of Hiko Lee getting his debut sooner rather than later. But I also saw, and it was Rikishi, I think, that come out and said that obviously when Roman comes back, he's bringing a surprise with him. So obviously everyone was like, Zilla's come in. But then also obviously opens the door that Jimmy could be there, Jay could be there, or Sammy, or all of them. You just
he's going to have a lot of making up to do, though, isn't he? Is Roman to get Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy back on his side, because obviously Sammy turned on him, Jay turned on him. Jimmy was the only one that didn't turn on him, actually. So Jimmy would be easier because they go, okay, we've got a common rivalry. Solo's trying to take over. He took you out. He's taking Heyman out. He's trying to take me out of the picture. But Jimmy and Sammy are going to be a whole other ballgame of trying to get them to team.
Jay obviously never really got on with Solo anyway, and then he's taken out his brother. He's taken out the original tribal chief, which Jay would still look up to Roman, and then obviously,
absolutely,
Sammy would just jump at the chance to join the forces again, no matter what.
I don't know though, because I mean, Solo was his dog. He's taken him to Waffle House and stuff, right? I love Sammy in the Bloodline was amazing.
Yeah,
But
there's so many
as you say,
possibilities though
yeah, there
at
is,
this
and like
moment,
you say,
and now
the
that
pop that
Roman's come
Roman
back
has got, yeah,
earlier has sort of stopped the bloodline story going stale.
yeah. And I think they needed. I think they needed to do it. I think either Jay or Roman could have done that by coming back, but the fact that they brought Roman back earlier, because I think he was earlier than a lot of people anticipated,
Yeah,
for him to come back. So I mean, certainly for me, I thought if anybody's going to come back at SummerSlam, it's going to be Jimmy, and he's going to come in and super kick this shit out of Solo, and then Cody's going to take the win. And we knew that Cody weren't going to beat him clean. He can't, because obviously, again, Solo has to lose, but he has to maintain that factor of, well, I'm not easy to beat. I'm fearful, and as a team, we are the best. So it had to be only there was only one person that could have come back to help, really, wasn't there?
yeah, definitely, and yeah, it was amazing, and I love the way that he acknowledged that Cody's there with his title, and he was like, and
Yeah,
it's the way he looked at him was like, I'm dealing with Solo, you're next. Like
yeah,
it was just a pure dead stare, as if like
yeah.
literally
It
just
was.
saying like, I've not forgotten you.
Yeah,
Don't take
exactly.
this as me helping you. I've just got a bigger problem to deal
This
with.
is me helping me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
just so happens that I'm doing it now, kind of thing. I know what you mean, absolutely. But I mean, again, like you say, going back to the original point, he doesn't have to do a promo right now. There's no need for him to. I think
I
if he
don't.
picked up a microphone, he'd be the exact opposite of Dominic Mysterio, in the sense that he wouldn't be able to get a word out purely because there would be so many cheers for him that it would be hard for him to get a word out, which is great. But there is no reason for him to promo right now. We know
Yeah,
what his intentions are.
so he just needs to literally just give the vibe of,
Yeah,
like I said to you as well, like the vibe that he's giving me is like Batista from
yeah,
when he was taken off air from like injured from Mark Henry, although for that
yeah,
long, and then he come back and then he was just he just wanted to destroy. He just literally
yeah,
had one intention.
exactly.
Didn't need the mic to do any work. It was just, every time you're out in this ring, I'm coming down, or I'm going to make my presence known, and you're going to
Yeah.
fear me. And that's
And I'm
exactly what
hoping that's how they're going to
they're
do it.
doing
I
with
hope every
Roman.
time Solo comes to the ring, there is going to be some interference to do with Roman. And obviously, it's going to be interesting because after this past Friday, he took that shield bomb through the
Yeah,
announce table.
I think that's more, that'll be one of those that Roman will probably have this week off, and Solo will sort of
Yeah.
brag about it, and the Bloodline
Yeah.
will
Oh,
have
yeah.
their
We took
fun.
him out. He couldn't handle us, kind of thing.
Which
Yeah.
again, though,
Absolutely.
it will add to the
Oh,
spice of
yeah.
the
Of course it
story,
will.
because,
Absolutely. But then, yeah.
and it also gives Roman that break that he probably needs after the couple of weeks, because obviously there was also this thing that Rikishi come out and said that you've got to give the guy some space as well, because sometimes obviously with everything he's dealing with, there's days
Yeah.
when he won't get up, he won't go to the gym, he won't answer his phone, like, he won't speak to anyone.
He's been through a lot recently, right? I mean, obviously he left. He was still dealing with cancer. Obviously he's in remission now. But for years he was fighting and wrestling and traveling with cancer. He's just lost his dad, for God's sake. Not,
And his
and his
uncle as
uncle
well.
only a few days ago as well. Yeah, so that two huge deaths within a very well connected, established family, and not just that, but they're so close as a family. The Samoans, they're so famously interlinked very well and close and have a great relationship with one another. It's not like they're distant. They meet up all the time and have a great family relationship. So yeah, that's huge.
So yeah, I'm loving where this is going right now. I'm
Yeah,
finally back
it's definitely
behind the
the best thing
Bloodline
on
story
SmackDown right
again.
now. And
Um,
like I said to you earlier, the fact that they've taken, I understand why they've put Randy on Raw, but the fact that they've taken one of the mainstays from SmackDown to Raw also makes SmackDown again on the other level stale again.
yeah, there's just not much there
No,
currently.
I mean,
Which,
look at the whole story with Nia. I get the Nia Tiffy angle. Tiffy will cash in at some point, and she's going to turn on Nia. However that happens, fine. And Mi Chin's come in, and I like to see Mi Chin get a push. She does deserve it. She has earned her dues. She's paid her dues by, she's worked for years as a wrestler, and she is good. Is she the right choice? I don't know. It's
Probably at the
hard to
moment.
say.
Probably at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, I can understand that. At the moment, definitely.
You don't want to keep pushing Naomi into that frame because it will just get boring. Jade and Bianca.
Naomi just lost against Blair as well, didn't she? Against Blair Davenport,
exactly.
Who's now finally getting some in-ring action. But every time I view Blair, I saw a comment on, I think it was Instagram, maybe YouTube. I saw a comment saying they're just trying to rerun Paige with Blair Davenport, and that's all I keep seeing now is that she's.
I thought that at first, though. I just thought she gave that vibe. It's like when I first saw her make her SmackDown appearance, and I was like,
yeah,
it's just Paige, like that's all it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But like I say, going to it though, I'm loving what Carmelo and Andrade are doing right at this moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the matches between them are great. They're both on a good level. I mean, Andrade has been for years anyway.
It's like it's like the personal hate that they give off to each other is great at the moment. Like, because Andrade's always been one to. He's a solo character, so he's always got that lonely vibe to himself in the sense of I don't need help. I don't like you. I'll only like you if I want to like you. And whereas Carmelo Hayes is that cocky, arrogant son of a bitch, basically. And
well, he is. Yeah, you're not wrong at all. He's as soon as he picks up a win or something, he's all in your face about it.
Exactly. He'll never let it go. He's just the cocky, twat that you just want to punch in the face week in, week out. But
well,
at the same time,
look at LA Knight. He did that, didn't he? He punched his face in week out, week in, week out.
But at the same time, it's like it's brilliant because it winds a lot of people up. So then you're going to get a great, like the next time they meet, it's going to start to ramp up and up and up and up, which this has done since Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and I think, like I said to you earlier, I think the thing with this as well is one of them is going to come out. This is going to go for the number one contender for the US champion, and I think that's going to work out well because we've seen Carmelo go against LA Knight. We've had some good matches. It'd be interesting to see where we go with LA Knight having a match with Andrade because I think that would also be another fantastic match.
Even a triple threat though would be great between them three.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would still have spice. But I saw the don't know if you see it, one of the worst photo shops that I think WWE have done for a long while. And obviously it was Logan posing with the belt. No, sorry, LA Knight posing with the belt.
Right.
But what they've done basically is took LA Knight picture, but they've cut off Logan Paul's arm with the belt and just stuck it on LA Knight. And everyone found it out straight away because he had the black armband on that was. And then they found that exact picture.
why would they do that?
Why have you just copied and pasted Logan's left arm with the belt onto LA Knight? What's the point?
You pay millions of pounds or dollars a year on advertising, graphics, and why would you then just say to them? Why would you accept that?
It just looked.
Was it
dreadful?
Was it done as a poke? To poke fun. I don't know. It could have been done as a stupid thing, but yeah, I mean, if not, then fucking hell.
It's just hilarious. It's just hilarious.
Oh mate. So, what are your thoughts on Monday? I'm not even going to talk about SmackDown for too long because, like you say, there's not an awful lot to speak about, and even when it comes to Cody, we've got Cody versus KO. KO doesn't think he deserves it. Cody's saying, "Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. You're going to take it regardless."
If that's what they're going to do, they might as well just let Cody have an open night,
an open challenge,
every week. Because if he's just going to gift it to whoever he wants to, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree. KO does deserve it. He's up there with one of the very best.
Yeah, but I think
they'll have a good match, but we know how it's going to go.
And it's not a match I'm going to look forward to because there's no point there's no rivalry to it. There's no story build up.
Exactly. It's like when we interviewed Sully and Sully joined us. He was saying, sometimes you get two heels against each other, and it just makes no sense. Or you get two faces against each other, it makes no sense because you don't know who to root for. It
I know
conflicts the
that
crowd.
it looks as though Kevin Owens is going to turn
I
because
love Kevin as a heel, by the way. Kevin as a heel is great.
someone pointed out that obviously up until this point, he's been wearing like the blue KO,
Yeah,
and then this week he come out and he had the red KO. I can't remember what else he'd done. Something else that he'd done when he was a heel, and also his attitude changed towards his
yeah.
challenger. So it looks as though there's a turn coming.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I know. I'm in two minds of that because I love KO as a heel, but I also love KO. I love the funny side of KO, like when he punched the shit out of Pretty Deadly, and he was like, "Look, Randy," and he was looking for Randy's approval, and then like when he reversed the golf cart all the way up to Randy Orton and then drove back. I love that side of KO. I love the comical side, but as a heel, he's fantastic as well. He's
I think
so good.
get Impact to actually wrestling properly like that,
Yeah,
and we'll get to see the best of him again. Because I
that's
like you
it.
say, I've enjoyed his little comedy run, but at the same time, I want to see him
Well,
week
that's
in
why I'm
week out
conflicted.
giving.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see him being a savage again because that's what we know KO for the most part. Or at least that's what I know him for the most part, anyway.
Well, ever since he come in, that's what he's been.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
So
look at him. You know, his first match, he beats John Cena, and and he's just a savage towards John Cena and everything. But yeah, I mean, moving on to Raw. Raw obviously is looking a lot better. We've got Randy over at Raw obviously at the moment because he's going to be challenging Gunther at Bash in Berlin. They're going to get that rematch from from King of the Ring.
finally,
It's going to take place finally. Um,
I've noticed as well though, like Gunther's stepping up a gear here. He's
yeah,
really giving in to taking Randy down on verbally as well as physically.
yeah,
Like when he's like calling him like last week, calling him a failure, saying that his dad was a failure, his uncle, like
yeah.
now you're
Well,
carrying
he
on the
tried. I mean,
legacy of being a
he tried to get
failure.
personal with Damien as well, didn't he? He went down that whole route of, you're poor, you come from a poor background, and all this lot. And I think he likes to hit that personal thing because he likes to make it personal and bring out that story in everybody.
It works though because Randy is an unhinged character.
Yeah,
So when you're going up against an unhinged character and you start to get personal, they will switch instantly, which
yeah.
Randy can do, and we know that that's one of
And
his
yeah,
best traits.
and the only way to take him off his mark is to make him angry. Because obviously when he's angry, he sees red mist, he doesn't hear ring bells or 10 counts or anything like that. So Gunther's playing the part well because he knows that the only way that he can beat Randy at the moment is with head games and
And then it was
with the help of his little bitch Ludwig.
Ludwig, but it was great as well when Randy was like, "You just won't see it coming." Like you get because
Yeah,
he was calling him predictable, but he was like, there's an
yeah.
RKO you won't see coming," and then obviously Drew's music hit. Gunther
And then he
turned
hit him with the
round
RKO,
and then
yeah.
he hit him with it as like
He told
it
him
was
the week
sweet
before that, didn't he? He
poetry.
said, "By the way, nothing gets me out of nowhere." And then the following week, like you say, Drew Music's hit. But I have noticed, and I said this to Boss the other day, it's a shame because you know how much of a big fan I am of Randy. I've been rooting for Randy to get another shot for ages. This isn't the shot I wanted. I'm pleased for him, but I wanted to see Randy and Cody. But he is looking slow on the turn on the RK. I know he's getting older, and I appreciate that. He's heavier than he once
Oh.
was as well. Because I, I don't want to say it almost, but I mean he can't not be juicing at that size, surely.
Yeah, now you say it and I look at it.
He can't not be because you see Randy like back in 2009, Randy with Legacy. He was so like really, really skinny, really muscly, and still
Mm.
jacked to hell. But he's like twice the size that he was then.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm
he's
looking at.
older. It's harder to keep muscle mass then. You look at the size of him now compared to 2009, and he is like almost twice the size, if not twice the size.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the picture of him going up with Gunther. And you look at it, he's a big dude now. Actually, yeah.
He's fucking. I mean, he's massive.
So, but I'm
Absolutely
looking
massive.
forward to the match at Bash though between
It's going to
those
be.
two.
Well, I mean, if you look at Raw, this is what I said to you before we started recording. If you look at Raw and the side that they're putting on at Bash in Berlin with the stories that we're running now, their side of the card is going to be great. You've got Terror Twins with Judgment Day, the whole story of the old Judgment Day versus Damien and Rhea is fantastic. I'm also loving on Raw, just the week in, week out. I'm really liking this rivalry. I don't even know where it's come from. Even Sheamus says he doesn't know where it's come from. But Pete Dunne turning on Sheamus after after their run together as the Brawling Brutes, after Sheamus came to save him, and now Pete's just fucking gone mental and
That was a good
turned on him.
match as well. I know
it was a great match.
I know it weren't long, but it was brilliant.
But I think with those two, they're both so charismatic. Pete Dunne is a savage, and he's so intense as a character that he doesn't need a quick match, a long match. He can have a long match, but he doesn't need it to show how tenacious he is and what he can do. But yeah, I'm liking that side of it, and then obviously, also, I mean, so again, the tag division over there is just lackluster.
Well, I don't get it. Like when you had the Miz and Truth holding the belts,
yeah,
they were defending them, but now the Judgment Day have got it. They're not
they
doing
haven't
anything.
defended them. No, exactly.
It's annoying. Like I know they've got their own storyline, but why give them the belts so early if you're going to push them into new versus old Judgment Day? Like,
but again, and they've done the same. If you look at SmackDown, they've done the same, haven't they? Because they've given the belts. They gave. I mean, DIY had them for what, 2 weeks, and then they gave them to the Bloodline. And since when's their defense been since? And then the same with Judgment Day.
It's this Friday though, isn't it? Their defense.
It is. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's just annoying. Like there's tag teams there to take advantage of. Like
exactly, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wyatt Six and American Made. Obviously, American Made is the new faction with Gable, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile. And obviously, Ivy Nile was fighting Maxine Dupree, and then they've come back out after her, and then the Creed brothers come out, and the Wyatt Six have come out.
Get it out there though. I'm a bit bored of where it's gone now. I think they've overran this rivalry between the Wyatt Six and American Made.
Yeah, I think so. I think it needs to come to a head maybe next week on Raw, and that's it. But Gable said he wasn't done, and it kind of makes sense in a way, because again, Gable's turned on his family. We said about this before. Ivy Nile was good friends with Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree did this long video on Instagram the other day in her car about Ivy Nile turning her back on her and all this lot as well. But yeah, I think they definitely need. They definitely need to switch it up. The one thing that I did like from this past Raw was seeing Uncle Howdy deliver that Sister Abigail in the same way that Bray did, with the kiss to the head, and then just dispatched him. I think that was a nice touch that he kept that in for Bray. And his laugh, he's got such a maniacal laugh as Uncle Howdy that it does make you feel. It makes you feel a little bit, a little bit more boosted for it. But yeah, again, I totally agree with you. I think it is starting to go a bit stale.
It's you want to see Gable sort of, or American Made, go out and obviously go for Alpha Academy. There's something there's something there. There's like an actual proper rivalry there, because it's now Gable saying, well, I was obviously like over with you guys, like we was going here, but you turned your back on me, so now I've got these guys and we're better than you, like we're all better, like just like
I know. And it's like, what's happening with Cesaro and Otis now, because they were helping Xavier Woods, because obviously they were like, yeah, we're friends with Xavier. Otis was wearing this free Otis shirt, who's actually now free, of Chad Gable. And then all of a sudden Odyssey Jones comes out. Xavier Woods wasn't too happy about it, and now he seems to be fucking like, yeah, okay, this is happening. This is the new movement forwards.
I like that though. I like how they've
do
done
like
this.
Yeah, I do like it.
Because if you're going to keep the New Day, they need a biggie.
Yeah.
They need a biggie back, and Odyssey, I think, is that. And I love the way that obviously Karrion Kross last week was trying to basically push Xavier away from Kofi
Well, that's
by
been his
saying
whole
that.
thing, isn't it? Is saying that Kofi is just trying to replace you, and he's, you could do better without him. He's just riding your coattails and shit. But yeah, like you say, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I know exactly what you can say. That he's saying, oh yeah, he's going to replace you with Odyssey.
And then, yeah, and it was like, and then obviously Xavier was like, well, how about, like, he was about to say we'll go 1-on-1 with a match, and then Kofi just snatched the mic and went, no. If we're all going to beat on each other, let's do it in the ring. Like,
Yeah,
you three versus us three. Like, that's what obviously made Xavier think, like, you think, oh, he's going to turn here. This is it. New Day are done. And then, boom, this week, they're all
can
buzzing.
you have the New Day done? The New Day have been going so long now. Yeah, I don't ever want to see them break up.
It's hard to it's harder to turn them now against each other because of what they bring, and also Kofi and Xavier don't really wrestle too often.
No.
So you just want to keep them as that back end like tag team, and
That's it.
Odyssey will get his own little push now. I think that'll be
with
I
didn't
the
really
New
know
Day.
much about him, but I've been watching some more of his stuff since he came into the fold. And I think, like you say, if they're gonna push forward with the New Day and give him some sort of angle and have them as a, he's a younger guy, why not give them the experience of Kofi and Xavier that have been in that triple team, and give him a push. Kofi's a former WWE champion, intercontinental champion. Xavier Woods is a former champion in many aspects as well. What better team to put him with, really?
No, definitely, and I like Odyssey. I like where he's going, and he's just got that. He's got a Biggie vibe about him, where he's just like,
he does.
He's a fun-loving guy, but he's just a big brute as well.
I want next time he comes out, I want to see him in a New Day unitard
with a trumpet
all over it. Yeah, that says "who," or a box of always putting pancakes out,
cereal.
like Big E does. Yeah, and Xavier's got the trumpet, and they're throwing pancakes around. I think it's safe to say if they do look to add him, I think it is safe to say that Big E isn't coming back, which is a shame because
he's already said it, hasn't he,
anyway.
Big E?
He has said that he's happy where he is. He hasn't been cleared, but I think that puts the nail in the coffin, kind of. Do you know what I mean? It makes it more real.
Yeah, but it's great that he's still a part of WWE, though. He's still there.
I love the fact that he's still got, because he's got quite a big role with them, right? He's at every PLE. He does loads of work with, meeting the fans and greeting them and everything like that. So he's heavily involved, which I love to see. And it's the same as Corey. Corey used to wrestle in NXT. He got injured, wasn't able to compete, and then they turned him into color commentator, and now he's one of the best.
I wonder if
he's really good at that.
He'll come over and replace Pat McAfee on
I don't
Raw.
know. I mean, I think if you're going to replace Pat with anybody, Corey is the best one to do, because him and Michael have got the most natural chemistry next to him and Pat, I think.
And they're very different on their opinions, which is what you want on a co-commentary.
Because you want them to balance. You want a heel and a face almost on commentary as well. Yeah. So I think he would be the best person to take over. But I'm gutted because obviously Pat took some time away last time and he wasn't. But I'm so glad he came back. And I hope he does come back again soon because I love Pat.
Oh yeah, he brings so much energy to that, and he brings the best out of Michael Cole.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have such a great laugh when they're together. Absolutely, they do. And when like the segments that you see him, and you see the camera angle with under the desk and Michael's face like burying himself, like when he said, what was it he said? As he said, looks like a brick shithouse. And then Pat was like, I'm so sorry. And Michael was in the corner like, oh my fucking
God. You also need McAfee for the Netflix era. Like,
definitely.
it's his era. It's his perfect moment to shine as a commentator. And I hope he comes back.
I hope he does. Definitely. I mean, I think if he's going to have any time off, let's hope that he gets it all out of the way this year and comes back ready for the new year and is there for Netflix, because that's going to be awesome if he is.
100%. And
I don't get why. A lot of people don't like him, and I don't understand it because I don't see it myself.
I see some people that he could be annoying and stuff, but I like all that though. Like, he's funny, like he's just got energy about him.
I love it. Like when Jay comes down, I like the way he is with Gunther. Like he always says shit about Gunther, and then as soon as Gunther puts his nose in, he's like, "Oh, sorry, General."
that's it though. Like that's what you want.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of energy you want a commentator to give you, because they're there to give shit. But at the same time, they're there to also be scared of when they come face to face.
Yeah, because they've got to play that defenseless character. You know, that they are a man in a suit, effectively a lot smaller than a wrestler, and that they have to be that scared of him. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the whole point of them being a commentator as well is to give their own opinions, which their own opinions are meant to be against certain people. And
absolutely, that's exactly right.
And if you always look at a commentator, they're basically meant to be behind a box or like in a box away, so people can't get to them, so they can say all this shit. But then when they do come face to face, it's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Like you've got to be, like you say, that defenseless man in a suit, and you've got to be apologetic. Right. So yeah,
I also like the fact that Wade Barrett, like he got in the face of Drew when he was like, no, this isn't the way to do it. Like he obviously is a former wrestler, he's a huge guy himself. I also like that part of when they do stick up for themselves. Like you used to get like Jim Ross, obviously slightly overweight guy, older Texan, and then he'd go up against Austin, who was his friend for years, but then he'd take a stunner. And it's just like, he had the balls to step up to him, but you knew how it was going to go. We all knew. Yeah, and Lawler as well. Obviously, Lawler was a wrestler for a long time.
He was always, if he gave it, and then he would be like, right, I'll go one-on-one with you. Like, I'll get in the ring. And
he was old school. He was like, I'll tell you what I mean, but I'm not afraid to back it up with my fists. So I mean, look, he had a one-on-one for Miz, and he almost won the WWE Championship.
So you've got
because Michael Cole stopped him. Michael Cole interfered and stopped him, otherwise he was going to win.
You've got to have that balance, and that right balance
absolutely.
Of that. But I mean,
what are your thoughts going in? Obviously, we're over a week out, but what are your thoughts going into Bash at Berlin? I mean, the matches that I know of so far, obviously Gunther and Randy, Cody and Kevin. I'm guessing it's going to be Nia and Michin if they carry on the way they're going, if they announce a fight for her at all. We've got a mixed tag match between the Terror Twins and Judgment Day by way of Dom and Liv. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, there's only 4 announced matches so far.
Well, that's what I mean. And normally we get, 5 or 6 at a PLE?
Like you say, you've got Cody, Kevin, Gunther, Randy, the mixed tag match, and then you've got Drew and Punk.
Oh, yeah, of course, the strap match. That's going to be good.
Yeah, because obviously Seth's been taken off of TV for a little while.
Yeah,
so
Seth's been taken off because obviously he got injured, and then they played it off with Bronson Reed coming out and annihilating him.
Like SmackDown, I think probably get 2 more matches in there, and I reckon you've got a United States title match,
which would be good. And maybe that's going to be a triple threat. Or next week, do we get a number 1 contenders match between Andrade and Carmelo? Maybe.
And then you've got I reckon. There's Nia's got to. There's got to be. Yeah, Nia's got to defend her title, because if Liv's not, then it's got to go down to
surely there's
Nia.
got to be a women's title online. Yeah, absolutely. That's what you would think. And obviously they're not going to put the tag team titles on, because they were just defended.
Don't even get me started with that, because I was pissed off that they done it on Monday as well with the women's tag titles. Like,
yeah, I know.
You're putting together a triple threat match for the women's titles, but you're still not allowing them to be defended at a PLE. Like, what is the point?
But yet they were run at a PLE.
Why not rename those women's tag team belts to just like the show, like normal show belts or something. Like they're not.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But it's like that with all the tag team championships at the moment, right? You know, and it's like Nia. We haven't seen Bailey since SummerSlam. I don't know if she's taken some time off or not. But we haven't seen her since SummerSlam. So she's obviously not involved with Nia. Obviously, she's going to have a rematch clause because she did defend a couple of times. Again, the championships. I'm not so bothered that Liv isn't defending against Rhea because just the fact that they're going to get hands on each other is enough at this point.
They've just obviously come off the back of Liv beating Rhea, like defending it, but then you're also embroiled in this
whole
story
between the faction,
which is great at the moment.
And it's going to be interesting to see what they do following Monday because obviously Liv battered the shit out of Rhea's shoulder again, which was the initial reason that she had to vacate the championship anyway.
And then also, you obviously had the rest of the Judgment Day destroy Damien, and then they were holding him up like one of those headless dolls, whatever you call them.
While she battered Rhea, sorry.
So, and obviously because Carlito dealt the backbreaker, didn't he? And
he did.
Finn delivered the final blow.
Yeah, with the coup de grace.
So
it's going to be interesting because obviously Damien still hasn't got his hands on Finn yet, but he's the one that he really wants to get his hands on. But obviously he's going to be teaming up with Rhea, and that's going to be from the perspective of I've got my Terror Twins back because of what they did to her. But I know she'll have my back when it comes to me going after Finn as well.
Dom's also taken the lead on this spearheading the attack towards Damien. Like he's taken that lead, which is great for him personally.
Because Liv seems to have taken the whole lead on Judgment Day at the moment. She seems to have stepped up and become mummy.
Great, yeah. That it's funny as well that obviously they've done that. They've pushed them to, and sort of now Finn's dropped down the pecking order again. Like he's had to take a back seat because it's all about Dom.
I know, but I think the big thing with Finn's turn on Damien wasn't so much of we all said there was going to be no leaders, although he did mention that. I think the biggest thing is that you cost me the title, so I cost you the title.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
the bigger picture of it. Yeah,
no doubt about that. But at the same time, like I say, it's Dom. It's Dom. It's like we've forgotten about Finn.
But that's because if Mummy if Liv is on top of Judgment Day, she's going to make it all about Dom. Because if you look at it, what's happened since, and what Rhea didn't help Dom do, which is a part of the storyline they brought into it, is he's beaten Rey Mysterio, which he couldn't do with Rhea. He's done that with Liv. He's become more confident. He's been called a man. He gets nuggies when he wants. Tendies.
And it's the war on Twitter as well, weren't it, between Rhea and Liv? And then also you had Zelina and Liv giving it each other on Twitter. Like
it's just I just thought it was just a reply from Liv when she said, "How does Dom go?" And she just turned around and said, "As for your question, Dom goes deep." I was just like, "Wow, that's another level of trolling right there."
It all started with Rhea like quote tweeting just the fans' opinion, and then obviously Liv got involved. Like it weren't even directly come from a Liv tweet. It was come from a fan tweet. I was just like, this is excellent.
It's so good. Could you imagine what it would be like if Twitter was alive and kicking in the Attitude Era? Could you imagine the tweets we would have got then between the likes of Shawn Michaels and Triple H and John Cena, Stone Cold, the Undertaker probably would never have gone on there because he always kept kayfabe.
Early Rock days,
Mankind, dude, it would have been fucking crazy, right?
That would have been mental. But was it also last week?
Kicking back then,
the still picture that kept popping up of when you had Priest appear behind Dom and Liv in the shadows, and then they were obviously there was a comparison of when the Undertaker appeared in the shadows behind AJ. Like it gave off that vibe because obviously
exactly.
Dom's Priest is always being compared as like the tranny
the
version of
bisexual Undertaker, yeah.
the Undertaker.
That's
So
what
it
he's been
was
called.
like, give him the angle, give him that steal, and it was brilliant.
I like Priest. I like Priest. I like what
This
they're
is the
doing with
best
him.
thing
I
that could have
like,
happened to him turning him babyface.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he was good as a heel, but again, it's a natural turn. He's slowly starting to turn, going, "No, I don't want your help," and that instantly gets the fans going, "Okay, he wants to defend this championship legitimately," and instantly that turns them in their mind, and you see those little snippets. And now he's turned, and everyone loves Rhea, whether she's a heel or not. Everybody loves Rhea. You know, she was kicking the shit out of Rey Mysterio, and everyone was loving it because it was Rhea.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that pop from anyone
No.
else.
No, I don't think so.
Doing that, whereas Rhea is just, she's just so cool, like in the face
Absolutely.
of anything.
She's mummy, right? That's the whole point of it. Is she's mummy. Mummy can do what she wants, and the fans are there for it, even
But
me included.
the only annoying thing about this tag match, obviously, that's coming up is Rhea can't get her hands on Dom officially in the ring, which is really annoying
It is
because
annoying.
I would love to see her decimate Dom. And
yeah, the one that I said this to you just before we started, the one thing that we've not seen yet, because it keeps getting countered by Liv, is I want to see Dom take a fucking riptide. He deserves that shit.
he could take it
Yeah,
after the match, but you won't see it during.
but I mean, you might, because
Maybe on the outside of the ring.
you might see it on the outside. I mean, there's more leniency if Damien hit Liv, for example, or Dom hit
Does that
Rhea,
open the
it'd
door?
be instant disqualification. But there is more leniency when a woman hits a man. But I reckon Priest is going to somehow distract Liv with the referee involved, and Rhea's gonna get a couple of hits off on him.
I hope so, and I do hope that the Terror Twins come
Yeah.
away with a victory, but I can't
hope so.
see it based on the numbers game.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
especially
'cause who would
with
they have? Who would they have joined them if anyone? Because
no
in
one,
their
is
run
there?
with the Judgment Day, they've pissed everybody off by being heels and stepped on and broken any bridge that they would have working it. I mean, you look at Liv and Rhea.
Unless
It's only
Jay
what, 2
comes to
years?
the save,
Yeah,
because
maybe. I mean,
he
it was
wants a
only.
bit of mummy, doesn't he?
Oh
So
fuck yeah! Could you imagine? Holy shit! Didn't even think about that.
so you never know. Jay and Sammy might appear and become
Tag team
as a tag
champions.
team, or just appear as a tag team, and then it sort of opens the door
Have you seen
to them
the
coming over
interview?
to SmackDown.
Have you seen the interview with Jay and Cody at the post press conference when they won the tag team titles? How
Oh,
pissed they
pissed
were.
out of their head.
Could you imagine Jay and Sammy pissed up at
Fucking hell.
post match interview? Holy
But
shit!
that interview was. They weren't actually scheduled to take the interview, hence the
No,
reason why they went and got.
they went and got pissed on Cody's tour bus.
Yeah, and then someone come along and said, "Oh, you two guys have got to do the press conference," and then they were just like hanging out their asses, like,
I know,
"Oh,
yeah.
okay." And everything
And
they were
then
just
Cody's
saying
going,
to
you know what
each
I'm
other.
saying? You feel me? And Cody goes, do you feel him, sir? Do you feel him?
We were just literally looking at each other and just bursting out
Yeah, I
laughing.
know.
Like, oh, it was great.
It's crazy. But yeah, no, I mean, that would make sense because he does want a bit of mummy. He's made that clear over the last few months that he wants a bit of mummy. And now Dom's not in the picture, so to speak. And she keeps saying yeet in interviews and stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on Jey Uso? And she goes, yeet.
So yeah, like him, because at the same time, like, and also if you look at it, Priest and Jay, they've got a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other necessarily, but they do respect each other. Yeah,
Like Priest never went out his way to, like, he would help. He was
it was
helping.
Finn that was trying
Well,
to attack.
not helping, but he was just saying to like Finn and JD, like,
You stay
don't
out
do
of it.
this. Like, this is my war with Jay. What are you doing? Like, so he was he was not initiating them to go out and beat him down.
No,
It was
exactly.
he wanted it to
So
be a fair
there is that
1-on-1.
possibility. Yeah, absolutely. And now Sammy's got really. I mean,
He's out the
he had his
IC picture.
He's out the IC picture because he had his rematch against Braun. So yeah. So where does he go from now?
That's why I think it's just like this could open up them two coming reuniting again, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Roman's seen this. Roman's going to bring him over to SmackDown
Yeah, it
to
could lead to it. Absolutely. Again,
take on the
there's so
bloodline.
many interlinks that could work. You know, that are there deep down that you could go, okay, yeah, we're going to get Jay to come out. We're going to have Carlito, Finn, and JD go and attack the Terror Twins. And then we're going to have Jay and Sammy come out and help them out.
Could you imagine if it was Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy?
Oh, fuck.
Like the Usos
I think
reunited.
I mean, that would be a crazy way to do it. It'd be a good way to do it, but I still think Jimmy needs to come and attack Solo. I think that's what people want to see when he comes back. They want to see him hit a super kick and hit an Uso splash.
Because they're not Solos, obviously, or the Bloodline are not. Well, at the moment, there's nothing scheduled for them to be at Bash, and also I don't think it'll work with them at Bash because Fatu's can't leave the country, can he, at the moment? So I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, that's true.
Which would be annoying because it'd be nice, like obviously, yeah, if they were there, and then obviously Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy come out, and then all of a sudden the Bloodline appeared and went to take them out, and it just sort of a massive brawl. Like,
I mean, like you said, there's so many ways that you could do it, but yeah, that would be interesting to see if anybody does come out and help them, and if they do, is it going to be potentially Sammy and Jay, or Jay?
I suppose you've also got the other way of the LWO could come to their rescue. Yeah, because
but would they?
Obviously, I mean, but it's more Zelina hates Liv, Ray, Dom. Obviously, Carlito's in the Judgment Day, so it's not a case of we're going to be your friends and help you. We just hate these guys. We've got beef with them
as much as you do. We've got mutual cause for this. Yeah.
So let's just take them out, and we don't have to see eye to eye, but let's just get rid of the problem.
I mean, yeah, that could well be the case. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, isn't it?
It's another. I'm just looking forward to it again, and like you say, moving on to Drew Punk, finally going to get the one-on-one that we've been waiting for.
Yes, no special referee, strap match. I'm liking
it. Should be interesting, a strap match, because
it will be. I mean, we knew it was going to happen as soon as Punk got hold of Drew's belt and started whipping the shit out of him. I think we all knew, okay, we've got a strap match coming. But I love the way that CM Punk spins it on Drew and says, "You haven't got to be, you don't need to go in. You can't go in there thinking, well, Punk's tied to me. You got to go in there thinking, shit, I'm tied to Punk, basically, because he's going to kick the shit out of you."
Yeah, literally, and that's what we want, though. We just want them to literally be there's no way of either one of them weaseling out of anything. Like, we just want to see them beat the shit out of each other.
And I think that's what we're going to get. And I think the press conference is going to be fantastic as well, because I don't mind watching the pre-show press conference. I think the post-show press conference, I've said it multiple times, I think it's pointless because it is a predetermined result. So I don't see the point in it personally.
Yeah, you can put Triple H on the spot after because he can obviously talk about the direction and obviously what to expect, and he can talk about the show itself, like, and answer any sort of tricky questions that something may have happened during that a certain match that obviously wasn't supposed to happen.
Injury updates and stuff like that. If somebody gets injured, like when Priest had his ankle caught up and people thought he might be injured, he could be like, well, yeah, we've had him seen by the medical team, but we're still not sure. He's got to go to the hospital for X-ray or something.
Special announcers of stuff like after shows, like he's always like he keeps doing.
I just don't. I mean, I get it with like boxing or MMA because it's not a fixed outcome.
No,
it's an outcome that sometimes isn't going to be expected. The favourite might lose horrendously, but when you go into wrestling, because it is predetermined with the result, I get things happen that don't expect to happen, like injuries, and there's I don't even like the word botch, because it's a live event. We're humans, it's going to happen. But when you have a mistake or something, I get that side of things. But when you've been told beforehand, oh, by the way, Cody, you're keeping the belt tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't understand that side of things. But I do like the pre-match shows. I do like the fact that they get them all riled up with the crowds, and you get Punk out and Drew out, and they say all the smack talks that they want to say. And I think that would be good, because I think I would like to see them start brawling at the pre-show. I don't think it will happen.
Nah, but and then you could have a face, like a confrontation between them both at some point, and because obviously you had that like Fanatics thing, didn't you? Where obviously some of the stars were, and Drew come out as Punk, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So it just embroils into that whole rivalry again, and I'm loving it as well, because you've still got Seth to come back at some point into this because of he wants both. He wants to beat both of them up. They want to beat him up.
I think we've got to have a triple threat match. Are they going to do
Bad Blood?
I mean, the thing is if Punk wins at Bash in Berlin, that gets them one that's tied. That's one apiece. So that's far from over.
I think
if they're
going
to do a best of series, for example, like they did with Sheamus and Cesaro years ago, the best of 7, where the hell is that going to take us? Because that's going to be way beyond. I mean, what are they going to do? End up 1-on-1 at WrestleMania against each other, perhaps?
Potentially, and I don't think anyone would be against it.
I don't think so, and it gets Punk what he wants, where he not the headline, but he's one of the headlines at WrestleMania.
And then it also gets Drew like that potential. He can have a real WrestleMania moment of beating Punk, who destroyed his previous WrestleMania moment. Like,
absolutely,
there's opportunities there, and along the way you can chuck Seth in at any moment you want, because.
Well, he can work with either one, can't he? Like you say, he wants them both.
I think there could be a triple threat with them 3 at Bad Blood, though.
I mean, that would be amazing. Now, we keep talking about Bad Blood.
Like, that's a perfect match for Bad Blood, the 3 of them.
I really don't want to overhype it, but I think Bad Blood is going to be. I mean, like we saw with SummerSlam. SummerSlam was better than Mania, in my opinion. SummerSlam next year, 2 nights, is going to be crazy.
It's going to be tough, though, 2 nights with SummerSlam and how they do this.
I think so, yeah. I mean, again, it's all going to depend on what stories they run on the shows at the time, isn't it? Because if SmackDown is where it is now, then there's no point in doing 2 nights at all.
The only thing I can think of is, I know it's a long shot, but maybe they sort of push some of the next big NXT
like the NXT talents and stuff,
and sort of just have like the NXT title on the line at SummerSlam and stuff like that.
I think that'd be great, maybe to massively elevate them, because I know they have like Heatwave and stuff a couple of nights later, but to give the women's champion and the NXT champion a shot,
just the feel of what it's like, on the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. I totally
and I
agree.
think the crowd would enjoy it the way that NXT is going at the moment. Like, there's a lot of talent down there.
Fire at the moment, yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a long shot of what
it's going to be interesting. I mean, all I can say is, for me personally, if SmackDown is at the level it's at now, then there's no point in doing 2 nights anyway, because you haven't got enough there. You haven't got enough substance for SmackDown to pad out the gaps that Raw wouldn't necessarily be able to fill. Because although Raw have got some big spots they could fill, but that also means next year that we may get tag teams defended at Survivals. At SummerSlam.
Potentially, because like you say, if Raw are just going to pad out the whole weekend, then they've got the Monday Night Raw, it just what's the point? You can't do that.
They've got to have. It's got to be. I would say you have to include all 3 brands, not just the 2 big ones. You have to have some of NXT in there for sure.
Or, like you say, if you're pushing other talent, then obviously you're making better matches. So then you've got those matches to fill out the show. But like we say, it's a long
that's
way. It's a
exactly
year
right.
off anyway, so anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Bash in Berlin, we've got Bad Blood, we've got Crown Jewel, we've got Royal
Survivor
Rumble,
Series.
Survivor Series, Wrestle. We got so many events before then.
So yeah, there's, like I say, it's a while off. Like let's focus on Bash first.
Yeah, absolutely. A week and a half away. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good show. Hopefully, they'll announce another one, maybe 2 matches for that night.
Yeah, they've got to,
I
because like
would
you say,
like
it's only
to.
4 at the moment. So
Yeah,
and 3 of them
yeah. And
are
normally,
from Raw. So
yeah, which is crazy because it's not an all. I don't think it's an all Raw pay per view because obviously, well, it's definitely not because you've got Cody and Kevin there.
I don't think they actually dedicate it to one show anymore.
I
I
don't think
think
they
they
do. I
make
think they do
they
cross
try to
brands.
make
Yeah,
sure that both men's titles are on the line,
yeah. But I mean, this
and
is the thing.
then
If you look at it, I think
they scatter the
I
card.
watched.
It's like before, really. They're
Yeah,
going back to how it originally was, which is better because I don't think
yeah,
it's stupid that you obviously go a month and then you've only got a SmackDown
yeah.
PLE, and then you've got to wait another month for the Raw one. Like,
Yeah, I prefer it this way. But then if you look at Cody and stuff, right? Cody has got more matches under his belt in the last year than anyone else. He's the workhorse, and he has got that workhorse championship, which has been defended at every PLE since he won it.
yeah,
Whereas Nia Jax and Bayley haven't done that. I mean, Nia Jax has only just won the championship, so you can't say that she's not going to, but she hasn't so far defended it.
I mean, even like
Liv isn't defending this time round either. But do you know the only person? This surprised me, and I'd heard this in the interview because I watched the interview and I loved the interview actually. Dominic Mysterio was number 2 with the most matches underneath Cody Rhodes last year. He wrestled more matches than anyone else besides Cody Rhodes.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, he had more matches than anyone else other than Cody Rhodes. He was number 2 last year.
Yeah, especially when you think like you just look at certain people, like you'd think like maybe Priest or Sammy would have been up there.
Dominic Mysterio.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fair play to him because he's working hard. He's grafted. I mean, that interview with Logan Paul was actually really good. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I think like Logan, he's like I say, he's matured a lot, and these like the podcast that he does, and obviously the interviews and stuff, are great. How he portrays, he comes across as genuinely wanting to get to know the next person on a deeper level.
It made me laugh though because Dom was saying about going to Japan, and they were saying about being heels, and Logan said I'd be a massive heel in Japan. Obviously, the incident that happened years ago, and Dom, no filter. Dom turned around and said, "Especially if you wore the hat." Logan went, "No, that's too far, dude. That's too far." Mike, his mate who interviews with him, was in fucking stitches. I was like, Dom, you really are dirty, Dom, because that was nasty. He just went, especially if you wore the hat.
Drops the ball crazy. Like that.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh man!
But apparently, do you know what he said? Like the whole situation with his wife and stuff. Because a lot of people I've seen on TikTok and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube have comments towards Dom's wife saying she must be hating this. Yeah. And Logan Paul asked that very question. What does your wife feel about it? He said, "Dude, Rhea Ripley licked my face on live television. It was the first time. I didn't know it was going to happen. So my wife definitely didn't know it was going to happen. She said the first text I got from her was, Dom, we've got a massive tarantula in the garage. How do I get rid of it?" He's like, "Oh, so she's nice and relaxed about it." He said, "Yeah, dude, she knows what it is. She knows it's business. She knows that there's going to be that in-depth, because we've got that in-depth storyline where we are a couple. That sort of thing is going to happen from time to time."
Well, it's the same as like Hollywood actors.
It's no different. Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's no different to a film. Yeah, absolutely.
They've got these intimate scenes that they need to do. Like, it's a lot worse than just having someone lick your face.
There's one actor who famously said, I can't remember his name, he said, I didn't get jobs for years because I refused to do any intimate scenes like kissing other women. He said, because I said from the day that I got married, my lips are only for my wife. And for years, they refused him work because of it.
Jesus.
And still to this day, he won't do any intimate scenes with a woman. If they do a kissing scene, she kisses him on the cheek, like as if to say, like, you know, I'm going out, see you later, kind of thing.
Interesting. Like, yeah, like I say, like, but they're intimate scenes. Like, they're basically they're like full, like, naked,
exactly.
like with each other.
That's
Whereas
exactly right.
all that's happening here is just he's getting licked on the face, or he's just kissing. Like, I know,
because that's
all right,
what
obviously
Logan
he's
said.
kissing
I
another
did think it's
woman,
funny,
but it's not personal.
Yeah, I did think it's funny because Logan was like, if I saw my wife like that in public, and I was thinking, do you know your wife's history? And I shouldn't say that because it's terrible, but everybody knows that, you know, everybody knows her history. I won't go into any more on that. That's a very controversial topic, especially for a public platform. But yeah, I fair play to her. Fair play to her. She's taking it on. She's like, okay, yeah, he goes out to work and he might get a kiss from this other woman. But yeah, she runs with it. And yeah, I was really surprised when he said the first message I got from her was, there's a tarantula in the garage. How do I get rid of it?
Imagine that though, as well, having a tarantula in your garage.
Don't. I've been reading all sorts of shit about spiders lately, and I'm terrified of spiders.
There's like spiders the size of rats in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then spiders like advertise to close your windows all the time because spiders come in between the middle of August and October. And if you see one scurrying across the floor, it's a male because the females wait to be picked up by them. But my son was cleaning out our summer house the other day with my stepdad, and they found an absolutely huge spider in there. And my son's terrified of spiders.
No thanks. I don't mind the little ones because they don't move as quick, but the big ones with hairy legs, when they start running, it's just like, nah, drop a book on them.
Oh, no, kill it with fire. That's why I love sliders. You can take them off your feet really quickly and use it like a chance craft.
Slap down, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. On that note, dudes, I think that brings us to about the end. As always,
man.
Fantastic to catch up with you and chat some wrestling. And it's interesting to see what SmackDown is going to do this week, because I keep saying interesting. It's not interesting. I'm just wanting to see if they can step their game up from last week, and in the last few weeks they haven't done it.
I'll be interested to see how obviously they play the bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
Given that Roman's probably going to have at least this week off, because you had that moment, obviously, when Fatu destroyed him.
Bomb, yeah. Well, and then he took the power bomb afterwards, yeah.
But when you had Roman in the ring, when Fatu obviously went to put his ass in his face, and after he did, and Roman's eyes were just out of his head, just like,
I know, yeah, it's just like, oh my god, what the hell happened? Yeah,
that was great though. That moment, like, Roman sold it.
I think it was great that they gave him the ankle injury at SummerSlam, so they didn't have the interaction, and now all of a sudden Fatu was just absolutely decimated him out of nowhere, because it keeps the fear factor on him, but also keeps the fact that actually no one in the bloodline can decimate Roman unless it's Fatu or unless he's there to help.
It's put Jacob on another level though.
Yeah,
like massively, and I think that's brilliant because he is the one only one in the bloodline that's sort of like, you don't want to go toe to toe with him.
He's the one that's definitely feared. He's the one that's like
Randy and Kevin found out.
Yeah.
So I love it, and like I say, SmackDown, it's got a lot to live up to. It's got to start pushing itself a bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree. But on that note, we'll catch up next week. Thank you everybody for taking the time to come and join us, and we will see you again next week in episode 16.
Yeah, 16, boy.
Damn, episode 16. And we have got some more special guests coming up soon as well. We're going to have Sullivan King coming on, who has just won the British Championship at SOS Wrestling. Franklin is going to come on for another episode. And I've also got another couple of other people that I'm going to line up as well that we'll announce as soon as dates are confirmed. But in the meantime, people, thank you so much for joining us.
Have a great week.
That is JJ Dub, and we will speak to you very, very soon. Goodbye now.
Take care, guys.